Boom, Skinner. Everybody, welcome back to the channel. All right, we got a bit of Azur Lane on tap today. Aurora Noctis. Not going too well at all at this point. Extremely annoying, actually. I can't get Perseus. I have tried. I have thrown well over. I'm up to 260 right now, but I would say I probably spent about, I'd say probably about 75, maybe 80 cubes trying to get her. I blowed a ton of coinage over the uh, over the course of this event, and I still have not been able. That's not including the shipbuilding tickets, guys. I mean, you probably got about 15 to 20 of those shipbuilding tickets as well. I did manage to get Valiant. I did not have Perseus or Valiant, but I've nailed How 5, 6 times. I've got a couple Hermiones. I'm not even going to count the number of times I got Eagle. And I pulled Valiant twice. But Perseus just does not want to show herself. I don't know where she is at, and I'm not going to blow a ton of my cubes on that. I just don't have the cubes to do that for, and I don't want to spend this much coins on it either, simply because of the fact that I'm saving those for a UR ship. I mean, if this was a UR ship, yeah, I'd go all in. I'd just start spamming, uh, you know, as much as I could to get her. But I'm not even going to be using her. Uh, she's a good ship. Don't get me wrong. She when she came out, she was the top line of healing ships. But let's be blunt, she's not anymore. Okay, there are other ships that have been released since then. You got to understand, she's probably almost a year, maybe a little bit more than that, old. So she is a good ship, but she's not a PvP ship. We already discussed what the meta for PvP is, so there's really no reason, unless you're having some trouble in PvP. But if you've got San Francisco, and you shouldn't have not having any trouble whatsoever. I mean, I could throw those two ships right here, these two, into any team in 12 and 13, and they will finish 7 sorties and be virtually full. Okay, because that's all these two ships do, is targeted heals. So they heal what ships need it. They don't waste the heal on they focus on the ships that need to be healed, and if a ship doesn't need to be healed, they don't do anything with it. Okay, um, so and they do damage. They're not completely, they're not like, that was the biggest downfalls of the Seavers. I mean, you had Unicorn, which could, she could do a little bit of damage. She was an aircraft carrier, so she was going to throw an airstrike. She heals when she does the airstrike, but it wasn't that much damage. She's a good beginner ship if you're looking for a healing ship. But and you can get Unicorn just by playing through the game. So yeah, but and then the big problem, of course, with the Kashi was the fact that she doesn't do any damage whatsoever. She just heals. And then they had just like Perseus, um, healing, damage. She does pretty good damage, but that was back then. Since then they've came out with these two ships, and I have absolutely positively no problem whatsoever with healing. Okay, if you get these two ships, max them out, take them to 125, you'll be fine. You'll have no trouble whatsoever with these ships. Just make sure you put San Francisco in the center slot on the front line, because if she's a positional ship, meaning that she does certain things when you put her in certain positions, and the center front position in the Vanguard, which is in the center, that is where she does her healing. So you want to get the targeted heals that she offers. You need to put her there. Use just standard aircraft carrier. Anywhere in the back line's fine. Okay, I wouldn't put her. Well, I wouldn't put her in the flagship. You of course want to put something else in the flagship. But if you got these two ships, your healing's fine. You'll never need anything else. So if Perseus was something that I really needed, like I didn't have these 2 ships, like if you're like a mid-level, player or something like that, and you don't have these two ships, you might want to go a little extra on her. But understand, guys, UR ships are going to be coming. Okay, they said that there's going to be an HMS event here coming up pretty soon. Not this event, but and there's probably going to be a UR ship inside of that event for the Royal Navy. So I want to make sure I have the cubes and more importantly the coins. People don't realize that a lot of times you get bit by the fact that you don't have enough coins. You might have enough cubes, but you don't have enough coins. Okay, so my coins are getting really low right now. So you know, so I'll have it built back up, and I'll have my cubes built back up. But I'm just not gonna. I wanted her simply because I don't have her. Okay, that's the reason I was wanting. I didn't have her or Valiant. I had no plans to use either of them, but I wanted them because I'm trying to get all the ships. It's not easy because she's only available at this in this event. Okay, you know, but like I say, with your ships coming out at a frequent clip like this, it's just not something to, completely, eradicate your gold or your cubes on an SSR ship. Okay, unless it's a ship that you really, really need. But that's just not something I'm going to do. So I threw, in total, I've probably thrown between 90 to 100 pulls at her over the course of the event, and I just haven't gotten her. So I'm not going to play games with her. I do have a bunch. I've actually purchased a bunch of stuff inside of the exchange shop. And I still got 294. I bought all kinds of stuff. Each day this was just filling. I bought like 6 or 7 of these. I got a bunch of parts. I bought I think I had another one of these when it first came up, and I purchased that. So yeah, I just been buying stuff like because I had so many of them because I was retiring all the ships because I was getting everything but her. I mean, I was getting Suffolk, I was getting Norfolk, I was getting Howe. It was just ridiculous. I even got Valiant twice. I actually limit broke her to the second stage. But yeah, I really, I wanted Perseus just because I want to collect the ship. Plus, I wanted to get the actual frame that's in the event. I'm not going to be able to get that simply because of the fact that I'm going to come up a little bit short. I could run the levels for it, but yeah, do 10 times, not my cup of tea. I have other things I'm focusing on right now, namely getting the only other ship that I really want to get, which is Akashi, which I still don't have. I've run 3, 4, probably several hundred times, and I've gotten Kaga like 7 or 8 times, but I've never gotten Akagi. So I've been trying to get her between that and this. I got everything I needed inside of the shop. Okay, I already had her. I got her from the previous event. I just need to purchase these cognitive chips. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So now I've gotten everything that I wanted inside of here. I've got all the parts. Make sure you definitely get this magnetic torpedo. I'm going to do some more running. Since I pretty much maxed out the pools, I might just run. I've got enough gold. I've got enough oil inside of my mail here that I could use and probably run those C2 or C3, run them 10 times to possibly get it. And I would be able to get the frame, but because the only ship I don't have Perseus, but I don't know. That's not, I need, I think I need 600, so 200, 400. So I need to complete, doing B3 with Belfast, that would be easy to get 300, but then I need to do 2 more. This one's already completed, so I actually just have to do maybe like these 2 right here with Vampire and Belfast, and I'd be able to easily get it. But it's just running. I don't particularly want to run it that far because that's going to be at least, we're going to have to do at least 17 times. Okay, not that it's not that big a deal. You just set it up and do auto, but because both of them are already 3-starred. But nah, that's not just something I'm going to worry about at this point. I'll get it when I'll have another rerun of it sometime in the future. I'll worry about it then. But yeah, I just wanted to get the ship. But I was partially successful and was able to get Valiant. Where's she at here? Valiant right here. And I was able to break her. I got her, and then I got another copy of her. So I took her up to 30, 35 actually, and I limit broke her once with that. So I'll finish her up with the cube. So I did get that in, so that's taken care of. But I'm still lacking Perseus. But yeah, at this point, it's not something that I need or was going to use. I probably would have got her and leveled her up, but she would have sat just like a lot of the other ships, because I have two other ships that do just as much damage and better healing in my terms, and they're specifically designed for PvE, and I've got them already maxed out, so I don't have to worry about spending bullets and stuff to get Perseus back up. I will in the future get her. The next time the event comes up, we'll go for her again. But yeah, it's just bad. I mean, I got a lot of. I got Hal. Like I said, I'm serious. I got Hal like 3 or 4 times. I got Hermione a couple times as well too. So I was getting the ships. It's just I wasn't getting the ship, which happens. I mean, it's RNG, guys. So you have to deal with it. It doesn't affect me that much. It would affect me more if I needed the ship for some reason. But since I've got 2 other healers which do more than enough, I don't really need another one. Yeah, so it is what it is. On a happy note, this event, you guys should be living this event up. I used it to take care of one of the things that was going to be a long-term project. Well, not really a long-term project, but a project that was going to take up a week, probably a week or 2, and that was to get Alaska. I'm sorry, not Alaska. Anchorage, which is in Alaska, but Anchorage, getting Anchorage up, because she's going to be going into my PvP team, as she is the current meta. So right here, so I've got her up. She is at, I've got her fully starred. Okay, I've got her maxed out. She's a priority ship, but I had a bunch of, generic blueprints. The blueprints you get from the events and stuff that you can use them for what you want to use them on. I had a bunch of those saved up. So I was able to force a lot of those into her, since they were usable on private ships, and I commented her, and I even maxed her out, and I was able to max out all of her skills. And I did this over the course of, I think it was like 2 or 3 days, because you assign the book, confirm it, then hit finish now, and it finishes. Then you could do that 10 times every single day. So make sure you're using up those every day. I mean, I've completed Anchorage. There's a couple other ships that I stopped at like 7 or 8 to focus on other ships. I'm coming back and attacking those. So it's been really useful. I'm working on Odin right now, another priority ship. But Anchorage is going to be going into the PvP team. She is the meta right now as one of the Vanguard ships. So we'll be putting her in, and I wanted to do a test. Basically we'll be keeping Duka in. That's a given. Probably going to keep Shimakaze in. I've got a feeling that in the end she's probably going to replace Nishiro. I like Nishiro because Nishiro is a tank, but also it's that buff that she gives on the torpedo damage is really, 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 really good. But Shimakaze is just a beast. Okay, I mean she's really the destroyer that is the meta going forward. Will be based around destroyers that have survivability, but at the same time can do a ton of torpedo damage, and that's what she does. And she's super fast, so she doesn't get hit very often. So she has survivability. I don't have any trouble with her whatsoever dying, so that's good. So I'll probably end up replacing Nishiro, and I'll be running Anchorage, Duka, and Nishiro, or Shimakaze, I'm sorry, on the front line. And then, of course, the backup will, of course, be Aquila, Veneto, and New Jersey, of course. You should have, that's the standard. That's the meta right now. If you most 90% of the top teams in Admiral, they're an Admiral, which is the top the upper echelon for the PvP. That's generally what most of them are running. So it's a very good setup. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to get her up to 120. I mean, I could get her up to 120 right now. I could throw a bunch of XP packs at her because I got a bunch of them, 2,676. Um, but I'll just work it up slow. I've still got a few things to do on her actual kit. I've got a gun for her that I'm going to swap in there to put in. Uh, right now, I've just got that twin tooth so I can find it and level it up. So I just stuck it on there. But everything else is looking pretty good in terms of that. Yeah, so she's nice. She's a priority ship. She's got really good survivability. She does pretty good, and she does pretty good torpedo damage. Unlike a lot of the others, she does fairly decent all-around damage. So, and she's a frontline ship, so you want to do a torpedo, but you also want to put a little bit of thinking about evasion. If you're ever unsure of what to stick on a Vanguard ship, you can't really go wrong with the hydraulic steering. Okay, every 30% chance for the ship using this gear to evade all enemy attacks for a couple of seconds. Okay, so you can't really go wrong. Not to mention the boost in evasion that it gives you. It makes your Vanguard faster. And at the same time, you have that chance to proc where you don't do any damage. I know 2 seconds doesn't seem like a lot, but considering the damage that most Vanguard ships undergo is near constant, it can help things out a little bit. And there are other things that you can try. Like I've thrown one of the pieces of equipment that I think really, really needs to be used a lot more inside of PvP is where's Noshiro at? I'm on. I don't have all of my ships shown. Noshiro, she's a Sakura Empire ship. Is the actual Pearl. Heals off fairlies for 10% of the max hit when this ship with this item sinks. So this pretty good as well. So I've been putting that on her. I'll probably move it over to Shimakaze. Most likely, because Shimakaze is already fast. You don't need any more evasion. But so that's what I'm thinking about doing at this point. But yeah, so if you're looking for something like that, that way when one of the ships dies, you get a heal. Okay. Healing is something that there's also some people focus heavy on burning, the fire extinguisher, which is something that you might want to consider as well too for PvP frontline ships. Secondary auxiliary slot, because you're going to stack torpedoes in there if you want to. But if you're finding yourself having a little bit trouble surviving, that's something to consider as well. Is the actual... I should have some of them in here, right here. Fire suppression, which is a little fire extinguisher, decreases the burn damage taken by 20%, and the chance of catching fire by 30%, and burn duration for 6 seconds. So you might want to consider sticking that on, some of the ships in the front. There's other things you can use as well, but those are the two main. Some people put the repair kits on there, which is something that you consider as well. But it's really not a whole lot of healing, but it's a heal. So you can try it. But that's some of the things that you might want to consider for your PvP team as well. And of course, you want to on Aquila, you want to double up the airstrike capability. So you want to double her up. Aquila, where are you at? Aquila, there she is. You want to double her up with the catapults too. You can try to get the gold ones, of course, but I think they do make a purple epic version of them. I'm just running exceedingly low on my mats in terms of for my for that, so that's why it's taking a little bit longer to get these up. But I'm going to be switching because I do have some that are 10. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's go ahead and put that off of Yeah, let's go ahead and switch that with Centaur. I'll take one from Centaur, and we'll take one from, take another from, I'll keep them on Shinato because I use Shinato. That's Enterprise. These are the two that are on Enterprise. Is that the only one I got? I might have to take one off Enterprise. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to take one off Enterprise. Sorry, girl, but we'll focus on it. We'll get you back up there. Okay. There. So, yeah. So I'm just making sure I'm trying to get everything maxed out. This is, in terms of equipment and whatnot, Duca's, she's got 10 on everything right now, so she's in good shape. In good shape for the next thing. So, yeah, that's Jersey. You just want to put a rainbow gun on her. I mean, that's what she does. She's shelling damage. So you just want to make sure that you have that. But yeah, so yeah, we've almost got Anchorage ready. Once that, we'll go stick her in there. I'll see how things go, and see whether or not it's something. I've seen not very many people are using it simply because of the fact that Anchorage is a priority ship, so you have to build her. Okay, then after you've built her, you have to level her up, enhance her with the blueprints. So it's all blueprint based. And I do, like I said, I had a stockpile of generic blueprints that could be used for any PR 1, 2, 3, 4 ships. So I just used a bunch of those, and I had just enough to actually completely, fully enhance her. So that's what I did, and then I was able to use the scroll up for the skills, as I said. So it takes a really long time to do a lot of this stuff. So I would definitely make sure that you do Anchorage if you have her on the skill using the scroll ups, okay? Because it can take it can take 5. If you use standard gold blueprints at the same type for the 150% buff, even then it's going to take you probably about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks to get it up to 10. Okay, you're going to have to do that twice. You can't do her other skill at the same time. You can only do one of her skills at a time. So after you finish the other one, you're going to have to do the next one. So you're looking at probably 4 weeks just to max out her skills. Okay, so this is a good way to save that time just by doing it using this. And this, it takes maybe 2 or 3 days to get it done. I think it took me 3 days to do it because I had 2 skills to do. So using that is very good. So I was fortunate enough to be in a position where I could do that. But if you're not, just keep working on her because, like I say, she is considered to be the mater right now. The skill set looks like it seems to be a pretty valuable skill set. I definitely say that you can't go wrong with that. So you have to look at what Nishiro offers, and at the same time, what Anchorage offers. Let's take a look at her skill set. It says riddle be this: increases the ship evasion by 15%. Okay, when this ship fires her torpedoes, 75% chance to fire a special level 10 barrage and damage is based on the skills level. If this barrage fails to activate, instead decreases the loading times of the ship's next wave of torpedoes by 3%. So you see, we're getting a lot of torpedoes. So it's exceedingly important that you put really good torpedoes on here because that's going to be the mainstay of this. So if for some reason, so even if the barrage fails to activate, she's still going to get that torpedo off a little bit faster. So evasion rate. So this is what we're getting into. Why she's made us. She's survivable, big time survivable. Then that's what I got a feeling is what I'm going to see. Right now, it generally goes. I've got Duca in the center, simply because Shimikas is super fast and really has a good chance of not getting hit, and Noshiro's a tank. So Noshiro's real. So those 2 ships, I've got them on the bookends because really they're bookend ships. Because bookends get hit a little bit more than the center. So I've got Duca in the center simply because in terms of she's don't worry, she's not a weak ship. She's a pretty tanky ship. But in terms of what she's comparative with, she's probably the weakest of the 3 in terms of survivability. This is gonna, she's a tank, okay, and that's what she's going to be do. So we've got an invasion rate of 40% for all of your ships in. It does not stack with other smokescreen skills, okay. So evasion rate, when this ship fires for torpedoes, deploys a smokescreen and a barrier. The smokescreen lasts for 5 seconds, okay, and increases the evasion rate by 40% for all of your ships in it. Does not stack with other smokescreen skills. The barrier lasts 5 seconds and can absorb damage up to 6% of this ship's max hit points. And the ship has a lot of max hit points because it's a BR ship. If this barrier is destroyed before it expires, this ship gains 100. So basically, she's not going to be hit for 2 seconds. So she's survivable. Okay, that's what makes her the meta at this point. Believe me, she went to the meta almost instantly when she came out because everybody had been running Noshiro. Usually it was Noshiro, Duca, and a lot of people, everybody was running. There were some people running Udachi, and stuff like that, Eldridge and stuff like that. But then Shimakaze came out, and she immediately moved into the meta, and she's still in it. And then Anchorage came out, and people started, focusing on her because she's a priority ship. She has excellent stats, higher than most, and her evasion rate is completely ridiculous. So she was right away seen as a way to survive, and she has torpedoes. So that's what you're looking for in the front line. So that's why that's the overriding theory. So I think replacing Noshiro with her will just make me a little bit more survivable. And since she does have torpedoes and she is going to be firing torpedoes off pretty often, that will help offset a little bit of the buff that you get from Noshiro for your torpedoes. So I think that's the reason why she's become meta prevalent, so to speak, and it's probably why everybody's using her right now. So, but yeah, we've already got her. Probably in a week or so, I'll have her fully kitted up and ready to go. I'll probably end up caving and using some of the boost on her, but I'm not going to use, because it takes a lot of those XP data packs to boost up all the way up to 120 from 100. It takes a lot. And I might want to use them on a priority ship, the next UR ship that comes out. Yeah, it's not I'm doing very well in PvP right now, having no trouble whatsoever. So I don't really feel the need to blow my XP data packs at this time. Once it gets a little bit closer, maybe gets up to 115, 116, I might throw some into her just to get her up to 120. And then we'll start, I will of course then uncap her again to 125 because I have enough cognitive chips and cognitive arrays to do that. And then we'll unlock her to get to 125, and then I'll stick her in the PvP. You get experience in the PvP, and work her up to 125. And then from then on, it's just going to be focusing a little bit more on the equipment. Min-maxing. You can find videos and stuff to tell you, easiest way for me is to I'll just go start putting on guns and see the ones that have the best efficiency, do the most damage, basic things like that. Auxiliary, it's yours to decide. As I just gave you some choices as to what you want to use. It's really based on what you need. If you're dying, you might want to put something for evasion or maybe a healing kit on there. If you're dying a lot because of the burning, you might want to stick some fire extinguishers on there. Unfortunately, because your Vanguard ships, you're going to need to put torp. Need to put the torp tubes in there. Okay, so just realize that that's going to take up the slot on your Vanguard ships. It's not really survivability. Equipment is not really necessary for your back. You want to put the double catapults on Aquila. You want to put on New Jersey. You can put just about. I use shells. I've got explosive and heavy shells on them. That's what I use for my battleships. So that's what I have on both Vento, and that's what I have on New Jersey. And best best guns I can come up with at the point. I got rainbow gun on uh, Jersey, and then I've got a rainbow torp on the actual um, torpedo gun is on Shimikaz. Pretty sure still got it on Shimikaz. Should still be on Shimikaz. Last time I checked, it was on Shimikaz. Let's go check and see if it is on Shimikaz. I'm pretty sure it is. Shimikaz. Yeah, right there. So I've got got the torp on her. Okay. So that's what you want to focus on. Anything that you can do in terms of torpedo damage for your front line is something you should consider using. Okay. So yeah. So this event ends today, guys. If you did not get Perseus by the end of the day, then you'll just have to wait till the next one comes around, as I will. This is a rerun, Aurora Noctis. Aurora Noctis might be put into the actual Moonlit Overture, so we'll have to see whether or not she goes into here. Okay, or maybe into here, because there is a coming soon right here. So we'll have to see exactly what goes in there. I'm hoping that they don't put her in there, simply because of the fact that until she's put into the regular builds, they're not going to put her in there. So doubt very seriously if it's going to be that going in there at this point in time. I'm not sure how many reruns they've. I think this is the first time they've actually had a rerun for it. Pretty sure, but we'll have to see. But yeah, so that's where we're at this point. But yeah, it ends today. So if you have not got her and you really want her, but if you've got San Francisco, collector's purposes would be the primary thing that you need. I've got every one of my fleet ships is maxed out ships, and I've got pretty much the best at the time. She's a really good PV ship. So yeah, if you do want her, you can try to get her, but I'm not going to break the bank for her simply because of the fact that, we're going to be having another UR ship coming out. Not exactly sure when. There was a pretty short time release between the last two UR ships, which leads me to believe that we might have another UR event here sometime within the next month or two. And I'm pretty sure it's got to be a Royal Navy. I'm hoping that it'll have something to do with Queen Elizabeth. I would not be adverse to them just making it a completely new Queen Elizabeth that's UR rated, or what they might do is come out with a UR ship for the Royal Navy, but then allow a retrofit for the current Queen Elizabeth to make her up into equivalent of a UR ship. I don't think they've ever took an epic ship to a UR. I know that the San Fran War Spite and all those that took them to UR, but those were SSR ships. Queen Elizabeth is, believe it or not, an epic. Yes, I know. It's amazing to have a flagship of one of the fleets that is an epic ship, not an SSR ship, let alone a UR ship. So it's pretty interesting. So I'm sure they're going to address that, as a lot of people are pretty for that. But I would not be digressed to a completely new Queen Elizabeth, or possibly just a retrofit for. Either way, get her stats up UR equivalent, so she can be rightly placed as a flagship. In the fleet, an epic ship is just not worthy of flagship status, in my opinion. So we'll have to see. I mean, all the other flagships are SSR or UR ships. There's no reason the Royal Navy one shouldn't be. All right, so that's all I got for today. Just wanted to let you know this event's going to be ending. We'll do another video tomorrow when they pop up the new event, and we'll go over it a little bit. So everybody, thanks a lot for watching the video. Remember to subscribe. Once you subscribe, you'll see the bell. Click on it. You get notified each time I do post a video, and also remember to like and share the video, as it does help the channel immensely. Kenrier, still in the corner, still coming at you, signing out.